have EC Bahia unearthed the next massive Brazilian Wonderkid export? Just who is the player that is already being called the next ENDRICK? His name is Ruan Pablo Barbosa Sousa, but you can call him Ruan Pablo. At 16 years old, this Wonderkid sensation is already carving out a name for himself in the youth teams at EC Bahia. Pablo joined Bahia in 2019 and has quickly risen through the ranks, leading to a first team debut in 2024. After becoming the club's youngest ever player and goal scorer, he would be rewarded with a contract until December 2027 with a rumoured €200 million release clause. Ruan Pablo's current ability is remarkable for his age. He is a thrilling attacker with blistering pace, explosive power, and is a natural in front of goal. At a young age, he's drawing comparisons to ENDRICK and has a similar potential. To fulfil that potential though, he will need to continue to impress at senior level. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Ruan Pablo down in the comments section below. Will he turn into the next ENDRICK, or will he simply become another Brazilian Wonderkid who doesn't truly live up to his potential? Today's video is brought to you in association with Passion4FM. Passion4FM is the #1 football manager blog dedicated to enhancing your football manager experience. On the website, you will find guides, tactics, shortlists, graphical and database updates, alongside in-depth articles about the world's best football manager simulation game. For this video, I've downloaded the Passion4FM Nextgen Wonderkid database. This database is the #1 resource for adding new real-world Wonderkids to your brand new save games. Download it from the description and enhance your save games now. In today's video, I'm going to let Football Manager predict the future. Starting in 2024, I'm going to run a simulation that will look at Ruan Pablo's career across the next 15 years. Let me know in the comments section down below how you think this one is going to turn out. Does Ruan Pablo really have the potential ability to go on and be the next ENDRICK, or will he simply become another Brazilian Wonderkid that never truly lives up to his potential? Whilst you're down in the comments section, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and check out the rest of the Wonderkid series. In the Nextgen database and the beginning of this simulation, Ruan Pablo starts the game with a great core of attributes for a 15-year-old striker. Now bear in mind, these are only estimated attributes. If you load your game up and he has certain values that are different, they do fluctuate from game to game. And also bear in mind that if he doesn't look like a Wonderkid at the very beginning of your brand new save game, there is always time with these players to develop them into Wonderkids. Right then, Ruan Pablo at the start of this simulation will start the game with great core attributes. And when we look, there are some standouts. Starting off in the technicals, he scores really highly for his dribbling, finishing, first touch, free kick taking, passing and technique. In the mentals, anticipation, composure, determination, flair, off the ball, teamwork and work rate. And in the physicals, he scores above 10 for every single attribute, with the standout being his natural fitness and his stamina. So, how is this one going to turn out? Will Ruan Pablo really go on and replicate the likes of ENDRICK? Will he break into Bahia's first team quickly enough to get that development out of him? Can he turn himself into an elite Wonderkid? At the 5-year stage, Ruan Pablo is now 20 years old, and we can see he's still at EC Bahia. He's managed to move through the youth ranks and has gone up now into the first team, and remarkably, he has played 186 first team games and scored 71 goals. Looking at the player, that has helped him take some big steps forward. Now, I do say big steps, and it is in certain areas. It's not visually as what you might expect, but certainly when we look at those three core attribute groups, technicals, standouts are dribbling, finishing, first touch, passing and technique. In the mentals, it's composure, off the ball, determination, flair and work rate. And in the physicals, it's agility, balance, pace and stamina, with natural fitness being his standout attribute. At this point, 186 first team appearances is quite impressive. There are some of these that we do, and you will see that the player will only get 30 or 40 first team appearances in the first 5 years. So to see him with 186 is staggering. So the question here is, what happens next? Will he continue to just keep putting those first team performances in for Bahia, or will he reach a point where he'll have to leave the club and aid his development elsewhere? Can he still go on and be an elite wonderkid? Looking at the progression, why not? Let's see what happens as we jump further forward. After 10 years of Ruan Pablo's career, he's now 25 years old, and you can see he has been on the move. This one is a bit of a surprise. I presumed that he'd get to the point where he would outgrow Bahia and he would go to Europe, but instead he decided to go to the UAE and sign for Shabab Al Ahly. He would leave Brazil having played 190 times for Bahia, scoring 71 goals, and since being in the UAE, he's played 130 times and scored 68 goals. Looking at the player, is he going to develop that well really over in the UAE? I am not too sure. He's now getting paid £100,000 a week, but looking at the development, there really isn't any. Between the ages of 20 and 25, he has kind of plateaued, and that is probably now going to be expected as he goes further if he stays in the UAE. Looking at the attributes, he's pretty much the same player he was in the technicals. He has had a few points here and there move up in terms of the mentals, with determination, flair, off the ball and composure all scoring highly. And in terms of the physicals, it's his natural fitness still. It's the agility, balance, pace and stamina. So a bit of a strange decision for him to go and take the money at such a young age. But I suppose that with these kinds of teams, Brazilians could get tempted to go out there earlier. And also, there may even be the temptation that once he gets there, if he doesn't ever pull on a Brazil shirt and he stays there long enough, he could switch allegiances and play for the UAE. The big question is, now he is there, what's going to happen between the 10 and 15 year mark? Is he going to develop further? At the 15-year stage, Ruan Pablo is now 30 years old, and once again, you can see he has been on the move. Originally, he went out to the Middle East to join Shabab Al Ahly in the UAE. He has now moved to Al Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Whilst he was at Shabab Al Ahly, he would go on and play 234 games, scoring 138 goals. He would actually move to Al Riyadh on a free transfer, where he has now played 34 times and scored 17 goals. Impressively, across his entire career, that gives him numbers of 458 appearances and 226 goals. Now, he has played in inferior leagues to the ones in Europe, that is for sure. And looking at the development, it really seems to have held him back. But the question is, what would have happened had he gone to Europe? Was there more development to come? I mean, looking at the amount of game time, 458 games is enough time for him to really be able to be pushed into a first team and really develop as a wonderkid. The problem is that inferior leagues that he has played in has held him back somewhat. Looking at the three core attribute groups then, there is not a lot of change in the technicals. In fact, I think he probably looks exactly the same as he did at the age of 20 or maybe even 25 at this point of his career. And I suppose when you are playing out in these leagues, you don't need to develop that much, as the infrastructure really isn't there to bring you along. In terms of the mentals, once again, it's about his off the ball. He also scores highly still for determination, flair, vision and work rate. And in the physicals, he has picked up now to have agility and natural fitness as standout attributes. Most of the other ones look exactly the same. So across a 15-year span, he has had plenty of first team game time. It was in inferior leagues, and as you can see, he has also switched allegiances in terms of his nationality. He now represents the United Arab Emirates. He has played 46 times and scored 20 goals, which is interesting because when these players make the move out there, that is always an option, especially a player who was on £100,000 a week by the time he got to Shabab Al Ahly, and he is earning £90,000 a week. Now he's in Saudi Arabia. So overall, the big question is he really going to be compared to an ENDRICK? ENDRICK obviously had untapped potential at the age of 16 and got his move to Europe, couldn't make the move for a couple of years and developed in Brazil. The difference here is he has chose to move to an inferior league, whereas ENDRICK is in La Liga. Ruan Pablo moving to the UAE is just incomparable. I'm a little bit disappointed that he went down this career path, but if you can sign him in your games, I think he moved to Shabab Al Ahly for around £12 million, and I think that's a bargain if you can get this player. I think there is far more development to come out of this player if you can get him into European teams and get him first team straight away. That 458 games says that he's durable enough to really go and play first team games. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you disappointed about the career path he took? Also, are you disappointed about the development? And I think it's safe to say we can probably write off the comparisons to ENDRICK if in real life he turns out like this. Right then, that is 15 years across the career of Ruan Pablo. If you want to get players like Ruan Pablo into your database, you are going to need the Nextgen database from Passion4FM. There is a link to that in the description down below. And whilst you're there, don't forget to smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the other Wonderkids series. For this one though, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for your time and attention. Hopefully I get to see you on another video very soon.